Heisman candidate Carson Beck and the third-ranked Hurricanes go into Tallahassee and score 28 straight points against rival Florida State and absorb a late charge from FSU. Beck had his first career game with multiple 40-yard touchdown passes, finished 20 of 27, 241 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. Seminoles had 3 turnovers for the second week in a row. Miami remains undefeated, off to a 5-0 start, and state champs. Welcoming former Cowboys quarterback Ben DiNucci and CBS Sports college football insider Richard Johnson. Miami trailed for the first time all season when Florida State kicked a field goal on their first possession. Carson Beck and the Canes scored 28 straight points. They absorbed the late charge. Ben, Beck was sharp. There's a reason why he's now one of the favorites to win the Heisman.
He was. Great game tonight. 20 of 27, 240 yards, 4 touchdowns. Most important thing, took care of the ball. Saying as old as time, too little, too late for this Florida State team. It looked like Miami kind of put this thing on cruise control in the fourth quarter and was able to kind of coast into this one.
Richard, what's different for Carson Beck? A new start. You know, I mean, look, he was at Georgia and he was solid, but when he left, you know, they were happy that Gunnar Stockton was taken over. And now Carson Beck in Miami, I mean, he's off to a 5-0 start. I mean, you can't ask for anything better.
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing with Miami is the offensive line in front of him is healthy and better. There is only one new offensive lineman for them coming into the season at center. But other than that, he's got a stable ecosystem and an offense around him, and he's able to perform. What they're getting out of Malachi Toney, the freshman wide receiver, is unbelievable. I mean, that guy is an out-of-the-box baller, can really play. C.J. Daniels on the outside as well, giving them what they need. But I think the most important thing with this Miami team is they're not interesting. They are boring. I say that in the most complimentary way possible. They control games from kickoff till the final whistle. There was not a moment tonight when I thought Florida State was going to win this game. Even when they got it a little close there at the end there in the fourth quarter, Miami kind of let them drive down and let them chew clock. But at the end of the day, Miami is controlling these games, and that's important because last year everything was up and down. It was turnovers, it was comebacks, it was Cam Ward heroics. All that. You're not seeing any of that from Miami this year.
I want to make it clear because sometimes we in the media, we do read the comments. Like people comment on YouTube when they watch these videos, and they have said that I've been a Miami hater, and because I'm an Ohio State fan, right? And I just want to make it clear, Miami's a really good team, and Mario Cristobal has them where he's supposed to have them. And as you said, they're controlling games. When you look at their schedule rest away, there's not a ton of resistance. I mean, this is a run-the-table situation here, Richard.
Yeah, I think so. And they've got an inside track to the college football playoff if they can run the table, win the ACC championship. Not just the college football playoff, but, I mean, a top 4 seed. I mean, right now, arguably the best team in the country right now with what they've shown. But they've gotten big wins banked early. Notre Dame, obviously, week 1, USF, and then Florida State tonight. That Louisville game on Friday night will be a trap game spot for Miami. Louisville almost got them last year. But other than that, you know, you got SMU, and then maybe Pitt gives you something on Thanksgiving weekend when it's probably kind of cold up in Heinz Field, or what do they call that stadium?
Acrisure Stadium.
Acrisure, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Being
I've been
from
corrected.
Pittsburgh, you're going to make a lot of people
native.
mad.
I've been corrected by the Pittsburgh native. Thank you, Ben. Yes, there's a couple potholes on this schedule, but the way Miami's playing, I don't expect them to trip them up.
They don't play for 2 weeks, Ben. I'm a little like, you want to keep playing here. I mean, they don't play again until the 17th.
I think they'll be all right.
All right.
Some much-needed downtime, sometimes not necessarily the worst thing in the world for a college team. Some guys might be banged up, dealing with some stuff, but when you're rolling like this Miami team is right now, sometimes a bye week could be your hardest opponent. So they're going to have to do some things, get off their feet a little bit, have a good week of practice, and see them again in a couple weeks.
Well, Miami is the state champion, and we are going to stay in the state of Florida. Gators head coach Billy Napier earning a big win over number 9 Texas. Richard, what did this win mean for Napier and the Gators?
I mean, it gets everybody to stop talking about them for at least a week. It shows that the team we thought they would be coming into the season is actually in there. They were dominant along the lines of scrimmage in this game. I thought they whipped Texas physically up front on both sides of the ball. Arch Manning sacked 6 times. They were all over him, and I didn't even think Arch played that poorly. Really came on in the second half. You finally got what you wanted from DJ Lagway in this game, and Dallas Wilson, a wide receiver, a freshman who they thought they were going to get a contribution from early this season, has been hurt so far. But in this game tonight, 111 yards, receiving 2 massive touchdowns. Florida is on the right track with this big upset win.
for Billy Napier and this Florida team, I think it cools down the seat for him for a little bit, right? It keeps this team engaged, gets them some serious momentum going, which is what they needed, right? A slow start for this team. You get Lagway involved, you get Dallas Wilson back today. This team was 7 of 14 on third down. They controlled the time of possession, 35 minutes to Texas 25 minutes. That's a recipe for success for a young team, a team who was looking for their first win. That was a massive one today. Good one for Napier, and should get the ball rolling.
Tough loss for Texas. Florida 3-1 at home against top 10 teams under Billy Napier. Speaking of a win over a top 10 team, biggest of the college football season. Nico Iamaleava and unranked UCLA stunned number 7 Penn State 42-37. Nico had 5 total touchdowns, leading the Bruins to their first win of the season. They were 24.5-point underdogs. Ben, this was a statement win for Nico and for new OC Jerry Neuheisel. Both had a breakout game against a Jim Knowles-led defense.
Nico, biggest thing for him, you heard him talking after the game. He's got some confidence. He's got some swagger back a little bit, right? This was the performance that he was waiting for, that UCLA was waiting for. This is why they brought him in, right? He had 5 touchdowns today. In the first 4 games, he had 4 combined. That tells you they were getting production out of him. He did it through the air. He did it on the ground. He was awesome today.
This is the game that you've been waiting for Nico Iamaleava for 2 seasons. Even going back to Tennessee, finally showed good on the promise. I thought it was really interesting that they got him moving. They used his legs. +1 in the run game. It's difficult for Penn State to stop, obviously, in this game. I thought the way UCLA managed the game was massive. They come out after their first touchdown, kick an onside kick, steal a possession, and then steal 3 points. Special teams again loom large at the end of the game when Penn State did not rush the punt at the end. UCLA was able to burn time and then took that intentional safety at the end there. And so you've got a situation where Penn State could have been playing for a field goal theoretically, but they weren't. And it's a 5-point deficit at the end there that Penn State suffers. I mean, this is an embarrassing loss. It's not lose to Temple bad for James Franklin, which he has done in the seat. But other than that, I don't know if you could find a more embarrassing loss for Penn State in James Franklin's tenure.
Yeah, last week Penn State lost a heartbreaker to Oregon. This week James Franklin lost a game. Richard, as you just said, you cannot lose. Once again, a James Franklin team fails to meet expectations. This is going to hurt for quite some time, Richard.
Yeah, I mean, they are on the brink of college football playoff contention. I think this loss is disqualifying for them for the college football playoff, particularly considering what they have left. They have Iowa left. They have Indiana left. They have Ohio State left. I don't expect them to navigate those games 3-0. It's the defense that let them down in that game, which that's wild to think, because the defense has frankly held up its end of the bargain in all of the big games that they've lost the last few years. I think for Penn State, the problem here for me is also one of mentality. James Franklin spent all week talking about how he didn't want that Oregon game to beat his team twice. Well, it has now beaten his team twice. They go into UCLA and they lose this game against an interim head coach, interim offensive coordinator, and interim defensive coordinator.
And Ben, the play calling was not where it needed to be in this game for Penn State. We saw late just some of the play calling was it was questionable, to say the least.
Yeah, I didn't love the play calling at the end of the game. When you've got a quarterback who's got experience like Drew Aller and this offense and this team, a guy who his teammates look at for leadership, you got just put him in a better place, a better position to make a play there at the end of the game, right? Let's be frank. Like this Penn State team came into the year, they had championship expectations riding off of last year, right? And so this was a letdown of kind of epic proportions for them today, right? UCLA came into this game 134th in college football in scoring. They scored 42 points today. Back-to-back losses, hadn't happened since 2021, and they've won 34 straight versus unranked opponents. So call it what you want. This is a loss that can't necessarily happen if you're Penn State. It happened today. The biggest thing for them moving forward, cut out the outside noise, control what you can control, and this season's got to be 1 week at a time for them moving forward.
Plenty of noise in Chapel Hill. Richard, there was another head coach that, well, not living up to expectations in a coaching matchup of, well, past champions.
Yeah, I mean, Bill Belichick and UNC come out and they get absolutely smoked by Clemson. I mean, 38-10, it wasn't even that close, to be honest with you. Clemson comes in and rolls off touchdowns in 5 of their first 6 possessions. First play of the game, they run a double pass to score. I mean, UNC comes into this game, again, they look slow. They look like they don't know what they're doing. There's just some things that you don't expect from the GOAT, from the greatest coach of all time, from a team that he's coaching. You expect them to be on their P's and Q's with some things. Maybe they're at a physical talent disadvantage to Clemson. I think you understand that. But, you've got a receiver who's like toe tapping 3 yards into the white paint at one point in time. It's these little things, that death of a thousand cuts situation, to create a UNC team that is awful. I mean, at the end of the day, why'd you fire Mac Brown and spend all this money on this guy if this is how they're going to look? Mac Brown could do way better than this.
Do you think it's because it's year one and they want to take some time and build this up a little bit?
But build it up with who?
Well, it may take
build
some
it
time,
up with,
right?
If you went in the portal and you tried to get all these players that you went and dipped into the portal to, these guys
win now.
Right now can't play.
Yeah.
And if it is a win now, as Ben is talking about, he ain't doing that.
Yeah. Well, Richard Johnson is keeping people accountable. So does Ben DiNucci, but Ben only wants winners, Ben. Who else stood out to you on Saturday from a winner's perspective? Where are you taking us?
Yeah, I'm going straight winners here. I'm going maybe an unpopular pick. I'm going the Virginia Cavaliers, who get a big win today versus Louisville, 5-1. Chandler Morris, quarterback. This is his 4th team in 6 years. Tony Elliott and this UVA team are leading the ACC through 6 weeks. They're in the driver's seat. They control their own destiny. And really, after last week's win versus Florida State, this felt like a little bit of a letdown spot for Virginia. So really, really awesome to see them come out today. Another statement win, control their destiny here second half of the season.
Shouts to Tony Elliott. And how about shouts to the one quarterback that had himself a day?
Had himself a day. Maybe had himself the best day of all time. Should be interesting to see how this one plays out. But Western Carolina's quarterback, Taron Dickens, today. Folks, you're hearing this right. He started the game 46 of 46 today. Let me say this again. 46 of 46.
You ever done that?
It's bonkers.
No, I started 9 of 9 one time.
He did. I did the highlight.
Yeah, that was in high school. You probably didn't do that. But regardless, there's so much.
I was working in Pittsburgh. No,
there's so much that has to go right, not only from the quarterback side of things, an offensive side of things, a play calling side of things. This is an incredible stat. Taron Dickens, if I had a helmet sticker right now, I'd slap one on the side of your helmet. Unbelievable job today. Most completions to start a game in college football history since 2011, when Dominic Davis did it for ECU and had 36. He started 46 of 46. Guess what he finished the game? 53 of 56 for 378 yards, 3 touchdowns. Taron Dickens, have yourself a day.
Yeah, have yourself a day, kid. Have yourself a day, Dickens. Let's go. I love it. Good stuff there. Ben DiNucci, Richard Johnson, winners always here on CBS Sports HQ. And hey, check out the latest podcast, College Football Insiders, hosted by a powerhouse team of reporters, including Richard Johnson. The show delivers the stories behind the headlines. College Football Insiders. Download and follow today.